Michael, a pretty interesting game. You guys are up 18 in the first half and have to hold on late. I guess what's the first message to your team in the locker room after a game like that?
Well, you always take a division win, and to finish up the road trip 3-1 is outstanding. Not always going to be pretty, and I thought in the first half we did a nice job. Third quarter, to your point, just came out with no urgency, and they become the aggressor and had us on our heels. So the message is what? You got to play for 48 minutes, right? You just can't go out there, even though they have guys out with injury, especially on the road. You have to put teams away, and that's something that we really have to get better at. We're building leads, but now how do we sustain that lead and not just give it all right back? But to our credit, in the fourth quarter, obviously, I think we went on an 18-6 run. Michael Porter Jr. was a huge part of that, with the shot making, timely shot making. And I don't know. Did Anthony Edwards score in the fourth quarter? I don't think he did.
Just one.
So I think the defense, 40% in the fourth quarter. Anthony Edwards' defense was great. Obviously, too many threes down the stretch to keep them alive. But I'd much rather watch film and clean things up after an ugly win. But we'll take it, man. That's a good team. And anytime, as I mentioned, we're tied with them, and now you move maybe a half game ahead of them. That's a good thing.
Michael, they're obviously missing a ton of their front court, including Gobert. In that third quarter, 17 points I think it was 12 until the last 40 seconds or so. Did you feel like you guys got away from anything in your offense, or was there some stuff that they were really doing defensively?
No, they just became, well, one, the turnovers. I mean, our turnovers were awful all night long, but the first quarter was turnovers and offensive rebounds, and we kind of cleaned up the glass after the first quarter. But the whole game, it was, poor turnovers, dribbling into crowds, and they became very physical, very aggressive, and that fueled their break. That gave them momentum. That gave them life. So give them credit for that. And then I think we kind of settled down, and we're able to pull out the win in that fourth quarter. But I wouldn't say we got away from anything. It was just giving them more credit to how hard and physical they were playing.
You mentioned the defense on Ant in the fourth quarter. Obviously, he was rolling in the third quarter. What do you think you guys were able to do to help cool him off there? Yeah,
we started sending a body at him. So obviously one guy trying to guard Anthony Edwards is a challenge, and for anybody in the whole NBA. And so we started throwing bodies at him. So now he's playing against a double team, get the ball out of his hands, make somebody else make a play. And to their credit, other guys stepped up. Conley hits 4 threes. Obviously, McDaniels hit 4 threes. But with a scorer like that, you got to give him different looks. And if the one-on-one coverage isn't working, you got to be willing to send another body to get the ball out of his hands, because that's the best way to stop an elite scorer, is just don't let him get a shot up. So I think that was probably the biggest adjustment that we made that helped kind of cool him down a little bit.
You talk about little moments in games, and although the third quarter really didn't do much, only scored 17, but as you just said a while ago, 5 points in the last 42nd gave you back the lead. Was that kind of the momentum to propel you into getting this win, even out of a bad quarter?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think we've talked about that so much as of late, because it is important. You can have an awful quarter, but if you can find a way to salvage that last minute where you go on a semi-small run to give you a little bit of life, to give you a little bit of momentum, and that carried over. I mean, again, the Michael Porter minutes, the run that he had was just outstanding. He knocked down big shots. Reggie made some good plays. Joker obviously playing through him. So, yeah, I think closing out that third quarter on that small run was definitely impactful.
What do you think led to that production from Michael Porter Jr. and the looks that he was getting in the fourth?
I think he went in. We took a couple of starters out, and Nicole was just getting so much attention. They were switching, they were doubling him. From the get-go, Dallas doubled him. So, I think when teams are putting 2 on Nikola, somebody's getting a wide-open shot. I think in that Dallas game, we were 3 for 13 on wide-open threes. So now it's just a matter of stepping up and knocking them down. And we know Michael Porter, post-All-Star break, is shooting the ball lights out. And obviously 26 more points tonight. Big free throws down the stretch by he and Jamal. And again, that's another late game, end of game situations that we can watch film of and clean up, because yes, you can give them credit for making tough shots, but we can't let them call a timeout, run a play, and hit a 3. We can't let them come down in transition and hit a 3 when we know that's what they're trying to get. So our late game defense, which is usually, you know, outstanding, the last couple of games, obviously, we just have to clean some things up.
It's one of Jokic's lowest assist games in a while. Obviously, part of that is just some missed shots when they started doubling him. But how important is it also for him to sort of have gone into the attack mode that he was in the first half when you guys get Kyle in foul trouble and all of a sudden it's Luka Garza guarding him for a lot of the half?
Yeah, I mean, it's Nicola's going to read the game, and you know, as I just mentioned, and you guys saw, you know, they were sending bodies at him in the post, at the nail. So obviously, you know, he's got to give the ball up. But to your point, sometimes he's getting in the ball in the middle of the floor where it's really hard to double. Be aggressive, play through the physicality, and you know, you trust him, you know, every single night to make the right play. So it's funny. I said at halftime he had 0 assists in the first half. I don't think I've ever seen that before. If it's happened, you know, when the last time it did happen, I can't remember. But you know, we were up 15 at the half. So you're taking what the defense gives you, and other guys are stepping up and making plays. All right, thanks everybody.
Thanks.